day and night. I feel like a king, oh yeah. And baby, can't help but stare. Such a rush, baby. Oh, when you touch me, baby. Such a rush, baby. When you love me, baby. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm live in the studio here in Seattle, in the Newport Towers, and I'm here with my excellent producer, Mr.
It's Eric C.C. Ryder. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday, Johnny.
Well, thank you, sir. It is a happy Thursday other than the weather, but, you know, it's Seattle, and we live with it, right?
It's spring in Seattle. We're going to have a lot of rain. It would be nice to have some more of those sun breaks, though, that we usually get this time of year.
You know, it was funny. Like a week and a half ago, it was like, what's going on? It's wonderful. It's magic. But I imagine we'll put up with this for another week or so, and then we'll get that wonderful weather here that we have in Seattle.
Yeah. Well, we'll get all our rain out of the way now, and then we'll have a beautiful summer.
You know,
let's make that the plan.
That is the plan. That is the plan, sir. And, you know, and it's funny you say rain because I was listening to a little snippet from a radio section that was talking about George Martin, the Beatle producer,
right?
Who was absolutely fabulous. The guy second to none. You know, having to be the fifth Beatle or being the producer, record producer, or
produced all their records except for Let It Be, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know the story behind that, but I'm sure there's one. But, man, oh, man, that guy brought those guys from being a pop band to legendary status.
Right, yeah.
I mean, when the phenomena...
A real innovator in pop music, for sure, as a producer.
I would say, maybe, without a doubt, maybe the greatest producer of all time, possibly.
Maybe.
Top 5, maybe top 3.
Yeah, he's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, we have, speaking of producers, we have a legendary producer today. And, you know, and I'm just blown away with all these great celebrities that we have on our show every week. And ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Viva ENT, and we are the show that brings the rock legends to you every single week here in Seattle. And we've done it week after week after week, from Hal Blaine to Nino Tempo to Mike Stoller from the legendary Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller songwriting team, to Tony Moon, to all the many, many, many great, wonderful artists and producers that we've had on the show. And this week is no exception. Today we have Johnny Madera, who happens to be one of the most successful record producers of all time, especially in the rock era. So, you know, as a matter of fact, we're going to dedicate 2 shows to him. He's going to be on today, and he's going to be on next week. And also, our special guest for today is Amanda Wong from Art of the Smiles. And she is really, really a cool gal. And she's got this great practice in Federal Way. And she's got a state-of-the-art facility. We're going to talk all about what she does. And she's definitely one of my favorites. There's no question about that. I want to say hi to Brad Buckles in Hawaii. And don't forget about the Tacoma Wedding Expo, the first weekend of April. I'm not sure what the dates are off the top of my head. Do we have a calendar here in the office there?
Sure. Look that up.
What is it, the 2nd, 3rd, or something like that?
The first weekend of April, you say?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd.
What a photogenic memory I got.
You're good, sir.
So, yeah, April 2nd and 3rd, we will be at the Tacoma Dome. It is the Tacoma Wedding Expo. We'll be there. Brad Buckles will be there. All the top vendors, all the top wedding vendors will be at that show. Because if they're not at that show, they're a couple sandwiches short of a picnic, if you know what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to have my friend on, and my dentist, on right now. Her name is Amanda Wong. Amanda, say hello to all our listeners.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful.
You know, Amanda, what exactly is your title? What would you call you're a doctor? There's no question. You're a dentist, but I don't know exactly how people, how would you call yourself?
I'm a family dentist.
Okay.
And my degree is DMD. Unlike a lot of people are familiar with DDS.
Uh-huh.
And the only difference, I have patients asking me questions about this. How come you're DMD? And I'm familiar with DDS. The only difference between the two is most public dental schools issue DDS, and there are few dental schools in the country that's trying to differentiate themselves from the other public dental schools because they're private and they're Ivy League, and they think they should be issuing a different degree from most of the public dental schools. So they issued DMD, which means Doctor of Dental Medicine.
Gotcha.
They are exactly the same as CDS, except that I have more student loan to pay when I graduate.
Well, and the reason that I ask you that question is because you do a whole lot more in that office than just a regular dentist.
We do. We provide almost all aspects of dentistry in our dental office.
And another reason that I want to bring that up is because most dentists, your regular dentists that you go to, don't do implants, but you do.
We do.
Yeah.
And
so,
we're enjoying a very high success rate, and my patients are getting the services, and the dental implant has gone a long way. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, I had a patient come into my office with 2 dental implants in her mouth. And I asked her, how much money did you pay for those implants? She told me $6,000
right.
each.
Right.
And we are placing dental implants in our office if it's a straightforward case for under $3,000, and that's start to finish, from the implant placement until the abutment, as well as the crown, the eventually crown that goes on top of the tooth.
Uh-huh.
So that start to finish case for under $3,000.
And did you say 2?
No, that's per tooth.
Per tooth, correct. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the information that our listeners really need to listen to, because when you get into a situation where you're losing a tooth due to whatever circumstances it might be, you have to make a decision. What am I going to do about it? And I don't think that they realize that you can get a permanent tooth for that type of money. And as far as I'm concerned,
traditionally people, we as dental dentists, we replace missing teeth with bridges or partials.
Mm-hmm.
And the bridges cost almost as much, or actually in some offices are costing more than dental implants. And a lot of people don't understand how much better of a restoration for the bone, for your general health, to get dental implants compared with bridges. We get to retain the bone underneath the implant, which, if you get a bridge, it does not stop the process of bone atrophy in the area.
Right.
As well as if you get a bridge in the area, there's maintenance going on. If one of the screws underneath the supporting bridge gets decayed, the whole bridge gets removed, and the whole bridge has to be redone.
Right.
But if you have a dental implant, you get to floss your teeth just as normal as any other your regular natural teeth. And if there's any problem with any of your teeth, we just deal with individual teeth. We don't have to deal with 3 at a time, 4 at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I came to you, I had the situation where I had a crown, root canal / crown, and the crown actually broke, and the whole thing was gone. And when I went to research what to do about it, I found out that it would be just expensive to have a retreat, is what they call it in the business,
Right.
and then get the crown put back on, so on and so forth. But it would be just about the same price if I had a permanent implant. So I have 2 implants in my mouth right now.
Wow.
And actually I'm going for my 3rd, and you're going to be putting that in a couple weeks.
That's right. And
So
we also got the area ready when we removed the tooth that had a root canal and a broken crown. I remember we grafted the area.
Correct.
So we get to preserve the bone in that area. When we go back and place the implant, we can place a wide diameter and long implant for you, so it's well supported by the bone.
That's right. Because if you don't do that, in a lot of circumstances, there's not enough bone to get it done. And
the other thing is if you wait long enough time, some people lose the tooth and they don't do anything until they realize, oh, I'm messing up my bite, and the teeth are all shifting. They come in and try to get an implant placed in that area. After years of resorption and atrophy in the area, they're left with no bone to support the implant. So weight is not
a
good choice for most people, most of your listeners out there.
Yeah, you don't want to wait. Like in my circumstances, you did put that bone graft in to make sure that when I did come in to get the implant, there would be enough bone.
Correct.
To make it successful.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. We're gonna go to a short break, and we're gonna bring you back on, Amanda.
Lights, camera, action. Capture those precious moments at your special event with 1000 Words Events' friendly, fun party services. Make your guests smile with a unique photo booth. Bring the celebration anywhere with a green screen. Enhance the mood with event lighting or pile them in an awesome VW photo bus. Our services provide lasting memories and unique party favors. After all, a picture's worth 1,000 words. See for yourself what we do at 1000wordsevents.com or call us at 253-380-2026. Let's make some memories. Online at 1000wordsevents.com or 253-380-2026.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with Barter,
The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com.
Proud to bring variety to your radio dial. Alternative Talk, 1150 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to Viva ENT. We're live in Seattle, and we have our special guest, Amanda Wong. Amanda, we're back on the air, and we were just talking about implants, which is, a great thing because a lot of people, don't know about it. But let's talk about some of the other stuff that you do in the office there.
Yeah, we do help people. We do family dentistry, but we also do a lot of provide a lot of services that most family dentists don't provide.
That's correct. I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Donnie didn't we bleach your teeth?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
some cosmetic cases, and one of my lately I had one lady. She's maybe in her early 30s. She came from Russia. Very pretty lady, but she has been staring at her crooked front teeth for many, many years. And she gets to look into the mirror every morning, which bothers her.
Right.
And when we did the front 6-piece veneers, she was so happy. We used one of the most well-known labs in the country that have been doing a lot of cosmetic cases for a lot of our celebrities and movie stars. And this case went back and forth to achieve the best result for her. After the treatment, she is so happy, and she told me the whole process, even though it took a while, is totally worth it. It changed her life.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. I waited for a long, long time to get my teeth bleached, and they've needed it for years. But it's ridiculous why I didn't come in sooner. But since I have, I'm so much happier. I work the wedding expos, and I'm in public all the time. So it really pays off to have that bright smile.
That's right. Everybody loves the bright smile.
No question about it. And that's why you are the art of the smiles.
We try to help people. If you have dental pain, we're here to provide root canal services. A lot of offices don't do it. We have a lot of experience working even on molar root canals. It is very rewarding when I treat a patient that comes in telling me I have not slept for 3 days and present me with swollen face and walking out of my office pain-free. It is very rewarding.
I would say so, And another thing too, your staff is really, a good staff. It's friendly.
Yeah.
Your office is state of the art.
Yeah.
You got
Cecilia is my star. And she's been with me before we even opened this office.
Really?
And yeah, everybody loves her. Maggie is very detailed person. And if you come in, just let us know what your concern. We can put you on laughing gas to relax you.
I like the laughing gas. I've been on it. So basically, you're telling me that Cecilia, she's not breaking anybody's hearts, right?
We try to make your experience as tolerable and pleasant as possible.
And Maggie, you don't have to wake her up because she's ready to go, right? That's a couple of songs, by the way.
Oh, by the way, we also provide Invisalign type of treatment.
Oh,
so
really?
If you don't like your crooked teeth, come to our office, get a free consultation.
That might be my next move because my bottom teeth are a little bit funny.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'll let you take a look next time.
Yeah, maybe when you come back for the implant, implant surgery. If you still have energy to talk about your bottom teeth, we can talk about it.
Now listen, when I come in for that implant in a couple of weeks, I'm getting the gas, right?
You will. You will be on the gas.
I want to be gassed up, sister. Okay, Amanda, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today. You know, we got to get you on once a month because I really think that your conversation is very informative to a lot of people out there that are scared to death of dentists.
Yeah, if I can help people to feel more comfortable, we provide free consultations for people that want a second opinion or first opinion. Just give us a call.
That sounds good to me. I want to make you on the show at least once a month. What do you think?
Well, I will be there for you.
There you go.
Our office phone number is 253-839-4048.
And the website?
Yes, Art of the Smiles with an S at the end of smiles @gmail.com.
Amanda Wong, you're the greatest. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you for being on Viva ENT.
You have a great time.
You too. Thanks so much. Well, there you go, Eric. So, a quick word from our sponsors, then we have Johnny Mandera on, man.
That's right.
Jerry Osborne, how much better does it get than that?
And it doesn't get much
We
better.
got rock
Unless
legends.
you got laughing gas going. And maybe it could be better.
Maybe I got a little laughing gas in this Gatorade.
I wouldn't put it past you, sir. More Viva ENT to come. Stay tuned.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com. Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at saturnbarter.com.
Lights, camera, action. Capture those precious moments at your special event with 1,000 Words Events friendly, fun party services. Make your guests smile with a unique photo booth. Bring the celebration anywhere with a green screen. Enhance the mood with event lighting or pile them in an awesome VW photo bus. Our services provide lasting memories and unique party favors. After all, a picture's worth 1,000 words. See for yourself what we do at 1000wordsevents.com or call us at 253-380-2026. Let's make some memories. Online at 1000wordsevents.com or 253-380-2026.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue Showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
News, traffic, and weather? Now you can get your information fix weekdays on Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm in the studio with my producer.
It's Eric C.C. Ryder.
Eric C.C. Ryder. My talent coordinator, Mr. Jerry Osborne, is on the line.
I am here.
And we have a legendary record producer, legendary / everything, Mr. Johnny Madera.
Yeah, there's no phase of the business that this guy hasn't been involved in, I don't think.
As a matter of fact, Johnny, we're going to dedicate 2 shows to you. What do you think about that?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. that means when you get old, like I am, that when you get older, see, there's a lot to talk about.
That's right. You know, we've been really fortunate enough to have, we've had Hal Blaine on the show, we've had Mike Stoller on the show, we have Nino Tempo on the show, we've had DJ Fontana on the show.
God. Everyone.
And they're all these fellas have got all these great stories because they are, they've been around.
We're not quite there yet chronologically, because I do want to kind of get started and go with things in the order that they occurred. But believe me, Johnny knows Hal Blaine very well, and he'll talk about him when we get to the California saga.
Very
Hal's
good.
He's one of my closest friends. Wonderful man.
Yeah.
Wonderful human being.
And he was an absolutely fabulous guest on our show.
He was great.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that when we talk about California.
Right.
I had a great experience.
I think of this as an audio biography, and by putting it in chronological order, it is pretty much in chapters the high points and maybe some of the low points of your amazing life. So what I'd like to do is skip the really early years and talk about 1957. You have your first solo singles, and those some of those anyway were very successful in regional areas around the country. But everything was really going to break wide open for you when you saw some kids doing some funny dance or something like that, and you thought maybe now'd be a good time for a song about the bop. Take it from there.
Well, actually, I was in my apartment. I was just recently married, and I think I was 18 and a half years old, something like that. I was a teenage married young man. So I'm in my apartment one night, and I hear some guys singing outside. Not outside my apartment, but, in a little bit of a distance. But it sounded real good. So the next day, I asked a couple of the neighbors, I heard this group. I said, they're really good. Can you tell me who they are? And they said, that's Danny rapping those guys. I remember the exact words. They said, that's Danny rapping those guys. And I said, what are those guys? Who are these guys? So I found out who they were, and Dave White, one of the members of the group, came down in my apartment, and we talked about music, and finally, after a couple of weeks of us hanging out, I had this idea to do a song called Do the Bop, and had the melody and had some of the lyrics, and Dave and I finished the song, and I was due to have a new record out after Be My Girl, and we recorded it, went and played it for Capitol Records. I was on their subsidiary label, Prep Records, and they didn't like it. They didn't hear it. It was early days of rock and roll, and a lot of the major companies really didn't have that many rock and roll artists. So, but they had me already set to be produced by the guy who was producing Paul Anka. That was Sid Feller. Mm-hmm. He was producing Paul Anka, and they wanted me to be produced by him. And really, this was not a part of my beginning of my life, but not knowing that I'd ever be a producer, plus a songwriter. I was just trying to be an artist. So off we went into the studio, recorded it, played it for Capitol. They hated it. Came back and played it for Dick Clark. And Dick Clark said, wow, it's really good, but the bop isn't happening around the country. He says it's starting to slow up. So how about changing to something like At the Hop?
Oh, my God.
So we went back, and I think, I don't know if I sent you the video. I have a video of that.
Yes, you did.
I did, okay.
You did.
And that was it. Then we went back in the studio, took Danny out of the background. He was the original singer of Dave's group, the Juvenaires, and he sang lead. He kind of emulated my performance on Do the Bop, and that was it. It was an instant hit, and Philadelphia, it was a giant hit, and started spreading around the country. And what happened was that Dick Clark's show went network right around the time At the Hop had come out.
Yeah.
So that was big because Dick was able to play that all across the country. And I always think that that's one of the reasons that rock and roll really exploded across the country, because before records were regional, and they would get played in Philly, Cleveland, Detroit, and Baltimore, and finally maybe it would break in a western state. And finally, by the time you got it out to California, the record was out 3 months. But with Dick Clark, it got instant airplay, and I believe that's the reason rock and roll exploded so big.
Well,
because of that show.
Johnny. So you're basically telling our listeners that the original song that you wrote turned into At the Hop.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
well,
so
in
now
a moment we'll hear it, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, you know what? I want to be clear on this. On Do the Bop, you are the lead singer, not Benny, right?
No, I'm the lead singer on that. That was, like I said, it was Be My follow-up to Be My Girl, but that didn't work out. So, but it worked out to be good because it was my first really number one record.
Well,
and,
I want to tell our listeners in Seattle that At the Hop was the number one song of 1958.
Well, it was the first record ever to be number one for 7 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I believe that.
The first rock and roll record.
And an interesting story about At the Hop. That little piano lead in it. It's a very distinctive piano lead.
Walt Gates.
Walter Gates. That's
Walter
right.
Gates.
Well, when Elvis did A Big Hunk of Love, they pretty much copied that piano lead to the T.
Yeah, well, there's a funny thing. If you ever get a chance to find an LP called Elvis in Germany.
Right.
And on there, he tries to play At the Hop.
Cool.
And he gets down to a certain part, and he goes, damn, I missed that chord. And then he starts singing it, but he didn't know all the words. So it's very clever. It was a real thrill.
Yeah.
Elvis trying to play it and sing it. That was a real thrill. That's on his album Live in Germany. He did it out of his room he was living in, or his house he was living in. He had a little studio in there.
Well, the cool thing is that Elvis was in the Army, so at the Hop, exploded and was such a smash hit that it almost created a new trend.
Well, it was interesting. I'll share a secret with you that I don't know if I've ever even talked about this, but I may have. When I walked into the studio, I walked in with the Jerry Lee Lewis record, Whole Lot of Shaking going on. And the idea was to capture that kind of a groove.
Right.
So that's where the I always say the germ came from. It started in my brain.
It was that hammering piano part,
that was Walter played. It was great. And we never, even on Rock and Roll's Here to Stay, we never got that same driving. It was very similar, but not that same driving piano that Walt played on at the Hop.
Man,
that's only three musicians. It's an upright bass, piano, and drums. That's it.
Right. Incredible.
Well, I would like to be the first person probably ever in the Seattle area to play the original Do the Bop. And then people can listen and they can make the comparison to the At the Hop that they know so well. So, Eric, let it fly and let's hear it.
Another great Viva ENT show, folks.
In the nation called the bop. Everybody's doing it and they're really moving it to bop. All the cats and the chicks are getting their kicks doing the bop. Let's all do 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 the bop. You can swing it, you can groove it, you can really start to move it, try to bop. Hey, you can roll it, you can rock it, you can hip it, you can hop it, that's the bop. First the jump a little, hop a little, then stop the bop a little bop. Let's bop. Hey, let's all do the bop. 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 Let's bop. Yeah. There's been a sensation that's a sweep in the nation called the bop. Everybody's doing it and they're really moving it, the bop. All the cats and the chicks are getting their kicks doing the bop. You can swing it, you can groove it, you can really start to move it, try to bop. You can roll it, you can rock it, you can hip it, you can hop it, that's the bop. First the jump a little, hop a little, then start the bop a little bop. Well, let's bop. Let's all do the 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 bop. Do the bop.
Okay, we're back live in Seattle. You're listening to Viva ENT. You just listened to At the Bop, which turned into the number one song of 1958, At the Hop. We have Johnny Madera and Jerry Osborne live on the air here in Seattle. So now, there's got to be some stories, more stories than we originally talked about earlier. Johnny, Jerry, take it away.
Well, the fact that there are so many stories and so many chapters to this man's adventurous life is why we are going to take 2 weeks to spread it out, because we don't want to miss anything. I know while we were listening to the song, Johnny mentioned that he met Elvis, and we would love to hear about that encounter.
It was a very quick, actually, 10 minutes or so, backstage in Vegas. I was producing Wayne Newton at the time. I did 3 albums with Wayne, and I was in Vegas a lot. And Elvis and Wayne were good friends. And so I got a chance to go to one of the shows in Vegas, and hung out with Elvis for about 10, 15 minutes. It was nice. It was a thrill meeting him. It was a thrill. I've met a lot of artists in my career, but meeting Elvis was like really special.
Well, that's
I felt like I was a little boy.
Good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, it was Elvis Presley. I'm like, God. 1975.
Wow.
74.
Yeah.
A couple of years before he passed away.
Yeah. He was actually in 74, 75. He was still looking good, correct?
Yes, he was still looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's move now into 1961. We're skipping a lot of interesting things, but something very significant happened then when a fly landed in the top 10. How did that come about?
Well, again, that was I had a record out, a local record. It was selling a little bit, and I was doing record hops. So I went to a record hop one night. I'm watching these kids do this dance, and their hands are shaking up in the air, and I'm saying, "Wow, that's pretty exciting." So next day I went back to the record shop, and I had a record shop for 2 years in West Philadelphia, in the black section of Philly. And all I sold was gospel, jazz, and R&B music. That was it. There were no white records in my record shop. And so I would meet a lot of black guys and great musicians, great writers, great artists. And so when we came back from seeing that hop one night, and I saw the fly, I called Dave White on the phone. I said, "David, get over here." I said, "We got to write a song." And we did. We wrote The Fly. And there was a band that I had been working with in West Philadelphia, Carl and the Commanders. And we went to the studio with Carl and the Commanders and their lead singer and recorded it. And so we had a finished master, and we went up and played it for Cameo Parkway Records, who were in Philadelphia. And we played it for Bernie Lowe, who was the president. And he loved it. He went out of his mind. He said, "This is great. This will be a hit. But I don't want to use your artist." He said, "I want to use your track, but I don't want to use your artist. He said, let's use Chubby Checker." Well, Chubby just had the twist. And I was kind of insistent on using the artist I had. I said, "I really like the record we have." So Bernie Lowe says, "Well, if you release that record, I'll cover it right away with Chubby." So we were kind of forced into giving the track to Chubby. So we put Chubby's voice on, and that record was a huge hit. And that was it. I sold the record shop, and I said, I'm in the record business full time. And then we started having like tons of hit records in Philly. Billy and the Essentials, Maureen Gray, and we had this group, the Pixies 3, that we had quite a few chart records with, and The Secrets, The Boy Next Door. We had a bunch of hit records that were in a row. But then 64, You Don't Own Me with Leslie Gore, and that was an amazing session.
I think that was the first women's lib song.
It was. It really was. And people say, "Well, what was the idea for writing that song?" And I always tell them the truth. The truth was, I wanted to write a song about a woman telling a man off. That was the whole reason for writing the song. I said, you always never hear guys complaining, but a woman to get out there and tell a guy off for a change. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And we recorded that song as a little demo. Then we got a call from Mercury Records one day, and they wanted Philly kind of music. So they sent us airplane tickets. Off we go on the Mercury Records and walk into a meeting with Quincy Jones, Shelby Singleton, all these big record producers that were producing for Mercury.
Were you in awe of Quincy Jones?
That Quincy was there, and this guy who was the president, Irving Green, Erwin Steinberg, who was the vice president, and we walk in a big long table, and there's a guy from Nashville, big producer, but there's Shelby Singleton, who was a big country producer, of course Quincy, and oh my God, all the other people were there. So we're kids, and we walk in there, and they go, "Okay, show us what you got." Oh my God. And I loved Quincy Jones, and so we were playing some new songs that we had written, and a couple of masters we had just finished. They liked them, and they said, "Well, do you have anything brand new you just wrote?" So we said, "We just wrote this song, this ballad," and we played it live, and I sang it for Quincy and the guys. So Quincy fell down. He said, "Oh, it's a great song. It'd be a great song for Leslie Gore. You know, we just had it at my party. It'd be a great song for her album." So he says to us, "Call her on the phone. There's the number. I want you to go up and see her. She's at Grossinger's this weekend working." So we drove up to Grossinger's, played it for her with a baritone ukulele by the pool, and she loved the song. She said, I got to hear it with piano. So we went into the main building, and we found a piano and played it for her piano, and she loved it. And then she called Quincy. Quincy says, go meet with the arranger. And Klaus Ogerman met with the arranger, dictated the arrangement to him. And Quincy says, come on up to the session. It's going to be on Wednesday. I want you guys there. So we show up in New York at the session, drove up from Philly, walk into the session, and Quincy's doing the song when we walk in. We're about 20 minutes late, and he's doing the song. So we stay quietly in the back of the studio while he's doing a 65-piece orchestra. And he says, after it's over, he says, well, what do you think? Well, that's Quincy Jones. It's hard to tell Quincy Jones, that there's something wrong with it. I idolized him. So I said to him, I said, Quincy, there's this the piano thing in the beginning that we had, that da-da-dum. Well, that's not on there. And then there's a couple things. There's an extra modulation that should be in there. And Klaus, stop the session. I want John and Dave to come out and make the changes. And he stopped the session for about 30, 40 minutes. And we made a bunch of changes, and that was it. And the record came out great. And it was the last song they were doing for the album. And at the end of the session, they had about 10 or 15 people were in the studio, and he had played all the cuts. And he said, write down your favorite cut, and everybody picked You Don't Know Me. And that was it. And that was just one of my favorite records because it was something I didn't really produce. It was just a song that we wrote. So have it produced by Quincy Jones, if it was never a hit, I was in heaven.
So,
it's too bad it only sold about 3 million.
Yeah.
Well, it actually sold. It was in the Dirty Dancing album, and the Dirty Dancing album sold 49 million units.
Oh my!
Because there was records, CDs, and cassettes at the time. So it was all three formats were selling, and that's the day of record sales.
Right.
There are no record sales anymore.
Right.
No.
That song, You Don't Know Me, with Leslie's voice, I don't know if you could have been more luckier to have another artist on that song because she delivered that song like it was nobody's business.
Fabulous, just fabulous, great performance. The version I like of the song, one of the best versions. I love Leslie's version, but Dusty Springfield did a great version of it.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, she did a great version of it, and it's been in 8 motion pictures, and it's been recorded so many times. It's out of all the songs I've written, it's got to be my favorite copyright.
Dusty, you're right about that. Dusty just made that song her own too. You're absolutely correct. I mean, the song was great.
Johnny, I don't know if it was you or one of your co-writers, but my hat is really off to whoever came up with the line, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. That's a great line.
I know. If I had to think about who came up with that line, I couldn't think of it. I mean, it's 1960.
You don't know me.
Like every teenage girl in America just ate that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it was just a big hit record in Europe. And in Australia, it was #1. New Zealand, it went number 1. And was by Grace and a rap artist by Jay-Z. It was the name of the artist.
Holy mackerel.
Jay-Z and Grace.
We're down
great record. And the funny thing was, it was produced by Quincy Jones.
Wow. We're down to about 2.5 minutes, guys.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
And we're going to have Johnny on the show next week too, right, Jared?
Yes.
Anything I can do to be of help. I love doing these things. It's fun.
Oh, great. Well, real quick, and you guys can cut me off anytime. From the Dovells, Len Berry, their lead singer.
Yeah.
You and he connected with a song that went all the way to #2 in the nation.
At #2 in Billboard, #1 in Cashbox.
Yeah.
But it was that was a song that I had written actually in the car. I had the song almost all done, and I went in for a writing session because we were doing Lenny's album, and the original title I had was 1, 2, and 3. And as soon as I said it to Lenny said, no, 1, 2, 3's got to be the title.
I like it.
And that was it. Actually, Lenny and I wrote that song.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's a great song.
George Harrison asked me a question. I was with him for 2 days, and he kept asking me a couple of times, how did you get the drum sound on 1, 2, 3? I said, what? I said, you guys made the greatest records of all, and you're asking me how I got the drums down on 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was John Lennon's favorite record in that time period.
Yeah, it was a great record, and not only that, we just lost George Martin.
I know.
So I'm glad you brought up George Harrison and the adulation that they had for that recording, because the Beatles, George Martin, you, Johnny, it just doesn't get any better.
I believe Johnny met George as well as Ringo and Paul in England.
Very cool.
Yeah, I met George Martin at EMI Studios. Him and Paul were in the studio doing Maxwell Silverhammer, and they were doing the vocal overdub. But Studio 2 at EMI is a double studio. It's at the recording studio is on the second level, and the actual studio itself, where the musicians are, is on the ground level.
Okay,
so
fellas.
You look down into the studio.
We're out of time. We got to go. Thank you very much,
right.
Johnny Madera, Jerry Osborne.
Yeah. We'll call you next week, Johnny.
We'll have you back on the show next week, Johnny. What a pleasure. You're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo, your host, and my producer, Mr.
Sarek C.C. Ryder saying have a great week.
Thank you so much. Bringing the rock legends to Seattle. Viva ENT. We'll dig you now and see you later, because you are a fine, sweet potato. Thank you so much, folks.
Many toys, you don't own me. Don't say I